So the whole point behind this video is that people want to use Fusion, but they are kind of scared to do so because it looks very daunting and it looks very challenging. But from my own experience, I can tell you it's not. And in this video, I'm just going to show you how you can approach Fusion so that it's much easier to work with and it will help you get even better results in your videos, right? So let's dive into Davinci Resolve and then show you first how to get a Fusion clip or how to create a Fusion clip, and then we'll go from there. Let's go. All right, so for the convenience of this video, I've already uploaded a track, right? A video track. Now this is a video of a log, and we're going to add some text to here later on. Now, there's a couple of things how you could create a Fusion clip. One is, if you have a track on your timeline, you can go up here to the Fusion tab, click it, and then that will take you to Fusion and it will show you a media in and a media out. And also these two windows, right? If you don't see these two windows, make sure you click up here so you get the second one. Now with the media in selected, you hit 1 and it shows up here, and then the media 2 shows up here. That means that the thing that you're working on is on the left. The thing that you're going to see in your timeline is on the right. Okay, so that's one way how to create a Fusion clip. Right, let's go back to the edit tab and then show you the next step. Let's say we want to use a text effect. We're going to drag the text effect on top of the clip. And now we have a text effect and we have a clip. Now, if we want these two to be used in Fusion, we can select both of them and then hit the right mouse button and click New Fusion Clip. And that will create a new Fusion clip. Now, if you go to the Fusion tab, then what we can see is this. We have a background, we have our media in, and we have another media in. So this is the text effect, this is our clip, and then this is a random background. Now you can delete that as well if you don't need it. So let's use this, right? Okay, so here's the text and we need to add it to the clip. Right, we've got two merge nodes, and what's important to know about these merge nodes is that they've got several entries, right? So they've got the first one, which is the background, where you place it into the background. So this will be the background. Then we also have the foreground one. So that means if you use this and put it up there, then this text will be on the foreground. And then we have this one, which is the effect mask. Now, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to connect them. I'm going to connect this as well. And there we go. So we've got merge 1, merge 2, right? And then our media out. So that's another way how to create a Fusion clip. Now, let's say you want to start from scratch, right? Then what you can do is go up here in your media pool, right mouse button, and then New Fusion Composition. Give that a name. So let's call this text effect. Make sure the frame rate matches the frame rate of your timeline. Let's click create. And now if I drag it up here, we will see that this is the duration. You could have changed that, but I'm just going to do it like this. Okay, so now we have a Fusion clip. And then if we go to Fusion, there's no frame available because we don't have anything up here, which means that from the media pool, we would need to drag and drop the things that we need. And then we've got a text node up here. So we've got our media in again. Let me connect that real quick. We've got our media in again. We've got our text node where we can write something, hello. And then we see that in the media out, the hello starts up here, okay? So that's 3 ways how you could create a Fusion clip. And that's the basics. So that's how you can start this. Now let me show you how to gradually move on with this by explaining to you the menu that you're looking at right now. Moving on to the second part of this video. I'm going to explain all of this, right? We've got an inspector tab up here, and the inspector tab will help you set all the settings or change all the settings of your nodes. So all these individual things are nodes, okay? What I like to do first is I like to change the name. So rename this. So let's rename this just a regular text, or maybe this is our hello text. And then we've got the media in, and we are going to rename that and call this video clip. That is because this will allow us to distinct which one is what, okay? Now, if you don't like this look, you can click the right mouse button, go to options, and then you have orthogonal pipes. So that makes it different, and that gives it a much better overview, okay? Now, in this node tree, because this is a node tree, there's a lot of things you can change. You can add nodes, you can remove nodes, you can put nodes in between, and that's the next step of this video. So up here, we have all kinds of different nodes, right? We've got a background node, we've got fast noise where you can use clouds or whatever, create with them. We've got text node, we've got paint, then we've got these, so the merge, we've got the multi-merge, then we've also got the transform node, and This is actually a very important one because let's say I want to change the text. Okay, we can click the text and we could change the size up here, and we could go to the transform, and then we could change these values, right? But rather than doing this, what I usually suggest to do is to just add in a transform node, because with the transform node in between, like your effect and then the output, and in this case merge first and then the output, that will allow you to change all these settings. Okay, and that's much easier to distinct these settings, so let's say the position, from all the other settings that you can change up here. Because here I like to change things that have to do with the text itself, and then with the transform node I like to change the things that have to do with the placement of the text. Now what happened is that the transform node got automatically added between the hello and the merge one, right? Now let's say that wasn't the point, so we don't have, I did just click delete, we don't have a transform node here. If you click outside of your node, so this is with the node selected, it's got this red line around it. Then if you click up here, then nothing is selected. Now, if you click the transform node again, you see that the transform node is now separate from every other node, right? And if you hover it over and you let it go, it's not connecting to it. You can change that by holding shift and then grabbing your transform node and move it up between these lines, right? So now it's being added. Now let's delete that again. There's another way how you can add nodes to your node tree. That's by selecting the one that you want to change. So in this case, I've got the text and I want to transform the text. Now, if you want to find all the nodes in Davinci Resolve, you can click Shift Spacebar, and this will give you this search menu, right? And rather than searching all of this manual, you can just click up here, Transform. You see we've got a transform. We're going to add it. And now the transform node has been placed between the text and the merge node. Okay. Now, if you want to remove this, or let's say you don't want it up here, but you want it between the video clip and the merge, for instance, you can hold shift again and then move it out and then just drag it here, right? And then you can obviously change the way, you can obviously change the position of the clip. Okay. Let me Ctrl Z to undo that. And let me place this back again real quick. There we go. Now, because this text isn't very visible due to this background, I'm going to create an outline with it. Now, in this case, so things like that can be changed in the shading menu, right? You've got shading elements 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So let's go to 2, red outline. Let's enable it. And now you see our text has a red outline. We can change the color up here. And let's say we just want to have it a little bit gray-like. There we go. So that makes it better visible already. We can also make it black for the sake of this tutorial. There we go. So it's much more visible. Now, if you want to have a shadow to it, we can enable that as well. And we now see a shadow added to the text. Now, let me zoom in so you can see it even better. Here we go. So we've got an outline on the text and we've got our shadow, right? And the same goes here for the clip. And that makes this text much better visible. Now, to really make this stand out, I want to add some glow. Now, I want to add glow to the text. So that means I need to select the text and I need to click which buttons? The shift and the spacebar. There you go. And then we are going to find the glow. I'm going to use the first glow, add it. And now you see that the glow is added before the transform node and before the merge node. And we see a glow added to the image. Now we can, to the text. Now we can increase this. We can decrease the glow, increase the glow to make it stand out even more. There we go. And that just looks a lot better because if I deselect it and I select it, then here we see a before and we see an after. Now in this case, because of the clip, my whole idea was not to say hello, but to say security, because this clip is about security. And then if we play this clip, we now see the clip playing with our text up here. Now it's very static. So, and now let's say we want to make an effect with this text, right? We want it to pop in and to pop out again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to frame 25, which is 1 second, because this is a 25 frame per second timeline. I'm going to select the text clip and I'm going to create a keyframe right here, right on, right? And this is the effect that you're going to achieve. See? Now we're reading from left to right, so that's why I'm going to create a keyframe right here. I'm going back to the first frame and I'm going to drag this all the way to the left, right? Now, if we play this clip, you see that the text is now appearing. Now, if you place a nice typing audio beneath this, that will really sell this effect, right? Now, what you can do is, let's say you want to have it last for 4 seconds in total. So that's 100 frames. And this is where it needs to be off. So on frame 75, we're going to create a keyframe again. We're going to frame 100 and we're going to remove it, but let's move it the other way around. Now look at what this is doing. So we're playing it, it shows up, and then now it's gone again. If you want to do something else, so let's say we're going back to the text again. Let's say you want this text to appear with some motion. By selecting the text, shift spacebar, blur, motion blur, let's add it. The first one, there we go, add it. We can change the settings if we want to, but let's just play the clip. And you see that that looks a lot better as well. Right, so that was fairly easy to follow, I think. Let me know if it wasn't. Let me know down below if you've got any questions. I will be sure to answer them. Now let's move on to the next one. So now we did a text effect, which was fairly easy. But a lot of you always wonder how to create like animations. And I'm going to show you how to create an animation, which you can use for, let's say, a travel map or a road map or a travel sequence, or maybe even your intro, the flashy one that you see right here, which is introing my next chapter. So let me remove all of this. So I could just hit Control, select all of them, click delete, and now everything is gone except for the video clip. What I'm going to do with the video clip selected is I'm going to click here, right? We've got the polygon, we've got the ellipse, rectangle, B-spline, but in this case I want the polygon. Now the polygon is being added before the video clip, okay? But I don't want that. I want it to be added on top of the video clip. So I'm moving the polygon mask to the merge node. Now, what you could do as well is just click merge and then click polygon node, and the same effect would have been applied, right? And now we need to make sure that this is to the green one. There we go. And now I could just click up here and I'm creating this line, but we don't see a line right now. And that has to do with the fact that we need to change the border width, because changing the border width suddenly shows these lines, right? Now to animate this, so let me deselect the polygon one. Let's click the video clip. Now to animate this, we need to add some effect, because if we play the clip right now, it's just showing as it is right now. Now the same principle basically applies here as it did to the text node, right? So if we go to frame 25 and we want it to show, then we need to create a keyframe up here at length, right? And then at the first clip, we need to remove this. So we need to drag this to the left. And then if we play this clip, you see that in 1 second, this line starts to appear. Now let's say we want to have this last for another second before it moves off. We can go to the 50th frame, create another keyframe with length, and set a keyframe for position, and then going to frame 75 and then dragging this to the right. So if we play this, you see that the line appears, stays for a second, and then it's gone. And that's how you can animate something. But you see that we still see this white up here, right? This white dot. We don't want that white dot. So let's go to the first frame, create a keyframe up here, border width, then go to the final clip, go back 1 frame, keyframe this, go back to the final one, and then just click this little symbol so it springs back to 0. Then if we play this clip, we see the line appearing, stays for a second, and now the line is gone, and so is that white dot. Now imagine having a map where you have that line following your route. You can have it shown on the map and then gradually remove it from the map again once you move forward, right? So that's how you can create a travel map animation. And there's also another reason why you should use Fusion, right? Because let's say we've got our video clip. Let me remove the polygon. Let's say we want to add a magic mask, and this only goes if you have the studio version. But what most of you will probably do is you have the clip and then you go to the color tab. You have the clip up here and then you go up here, magic mask, have this selected, then select the thing you want to mask, right? Track it forwards and backwards, and then create an alpha output. So add alpha output, connect it up here, and then have some sort of track beneath it, okay? However, the problem with this is if you do that and you go back to the edit tab and then you change something up here, so either the zoom or the position, then everything you've done in the color tab is gone, right? So the color tab is not meant for visual effects. So the best way to do that as well is just to go to Fusion and then let me quickly pull up a different clip and then do the following, right? So what I've done is I've just dropped in a different clip. I created a second Fusion composition. I've dropped in the clip. So we've got our media in, media out. This is me having an interview with Max. He's from 21 Energy. It's a great product. Not sponsored, by the way. So let's say I want to add the magic mask here. So shift spacebar, magic mask. I'm going to add it. It's going to be added between our media in and our media out. So with the magic mask selected and the inspector tab, I can now draw over us to have us selected. And obviously this only goes for the studio version, but that's okay. So let me select him as well. There we go. And then we select better and we track it forwards and backwards. Then we now have a mask selected, right? Now let's see, we want to change this mask. So first, let me add in a background real quick. And then let's make sure it's connected to the right node. This needs to be there. There we go, background. There we go. So make sure the magic mask is connected to here, the foreground, and then the background is just connected to this yellow dot. There we go. So now we have our mask behind us, and obviously you can change this color to any color you want. So let's say you want a green screen effect for some reason. You can do that again rather than removing this. But with the magic mask selected, you hit shift spacebar, click transform, right? And you add it. That allows you to just change the position, you know, without the mask being gone. Because if I now play this, it will still be here. And if I drop it down, it will still be there, you know? So this is a much better way to use effects, right? Because now you can actually add a mask and then still transform it and not having to redo everything. If you would have done this in a color tab, you would have to redo everything. And that's why it's very important to start learning Fusion, because that will save you so much time and hassle if you actually know how to do it, right? The most important things here in Fusion is that you realize how these nodes work, right? So that you always follow the correct order, so that you don't suddenly have like a background connected to here, which makes you show nothing, rather than having it connected to the right point, right? So for a beginner video, I think this covered enough for now. So you can now add in text effects. You know how to transform your image without losing any visual effects. You know where to find the nodes. You know how to add the nodes. And you know how to create a Fusion composition. Let me know if there's anything you're missing down below. I'm definitely going to do more of these videos and go more in depth. And I'll see you guys next time. Doei!